guys, Chrisspy here. Welcome to my channel. Today's tutorial is on this butterfly skull look. I saw this picture on Instagram and felt super inspired. Let me pull up the picture. Hold please. So the artist is the wigs and makeup manager. This girl is crazy talented, and yeah, I just felt really inspired and decided to go ahead and try it out and do a tutorial on it. So let's get started. So I'm starting out by applying a primer. This is Benefit Professional, and this is going to help my foundation and the face paint to go on nice and smooth. Next up, I'm going to apply my foundation. This is Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation. And although this isn't totally necessary, I also took a little bit of contour powder and contoured my hairline and my jawline. For the face paint, I'm going to be using this palette from Mayron. I actually had to clean it. It was still fresh from my Yoda video. And by the way, time out guys, I know my hairline is looking crazy. I don't know why. I don't know what was happening, but forgive me. I'm going to begin by outlining everything first, but before I begin, I wanted to prime my lips using this organic and moisturizing lip balm from Lasting Smiles. For a very thin outline, I'm using this smudger brush from Scone Cosmetics. This actually came in my Ipsy Glam bag. I messed up on the cheekbones at first, so I went back with the Skin Iceland Glacial Cleansing Cloths. I actually kept these makeup wipes next to me throughout the whole tutorial. It's really nice because you don't have to rinse, you don't have to use water, and I could just clean up any little mistakes. So this part is probably the most important and probably one of the most challenging steps, is first just getting everything mapped out, and then once we have everything where we want it, we're going to go back in and shade. So I had to use a lot of patience and just take my time and draw out where everything is going to be. And I totally forgot, I should have done this before I did my foundation, but I'm just going to cover up my brows, and this is actually like a drag trick that I learned. I'm probably not the best at it just yet, but first I'm using a glue stick and a spoolie, and you really just want to brush them whichever way they grow in, and you want them to sit as flat and as close to the skin as possible. Next, I hit them with some translucent powder, some concealer, and then I went over it again with another powder foundation. Okay, so now that the brows are covered, I went ahead with the same brush and the same black paint, and I just went and outlined the eyes in the shape of a butterfly on each eye. For the mouth, I'm extending the line from the corners of my lips, and then I went ahead and drew on all the teeth, and again, this is just a really rough outline. We're going to deal with the details later. So now I'm going back in with the black paint, and I'm thickening that line and starting to fill things in with the paint. And then I took a matte black eyeshadow and a small flat brush, and I started to concentrate most of the color around the edge of those lines because I'm going to create like a really shaded gradient effect. And I'm kind of feathering it as I'm dragging the product down and releasing the pressure from my skin, and this is going to help give that really cool shaded gradient effect. So next I'm applying the line around the bottom teeth, just making that a little bit thicker, and I'm going to add some shading, leaving a little gap in between the thick lines, and that's going to help to give the illusion of it being raised. Next I'm just shading, adding details to that little area around the temples, and again I'm concentrating most of the color around the edges of the lines. For the nose, I'm shading the top half, dragging that eyeshadow down, and then actually I wish I hadn't made it into like a diamond shape below my nose. You guys can see when I fill it in. I wish I had just made it more of a triangle, like a flat straight line underneath the nose, because it almost looked in some ways like a little bit beaky. So if you guys are going to do this, keep the line straight underneath the nose, don't make it into a diamond. Next I mixed some white and blue paint, and I'm just painting in the teeth. At this point I was like, wow, I guess I didn't really need to fill them in, but I guess it was good just to have those lines there as a guide. So I'm just going to paint them, and then later I'm going to shade them with some eyeshadow. In the inspiration picture, the girl used a really bright neon paint. I wish I had used something like that, but I used a Makeup Geek bright blue eyeshadow to shade the bottoms of the teeth. Next, I went in with that brush again from Scone Cosmetics and some black paint, and I just went over the outline of the teeth, making them nice and defined. Next, we're going to move up towards the eyes. I'm starting by using this brush from Coastal Scents. This is a Pearl Shadow Angle Large brush, and this is going to help me get in there and define. And to contour the wings up there, I'm actually using a brow powder from Peak Beauty. This is the Espresso Natural Stain Brow Powder. It's a soft powder, but it has really long lasting stain, so it's perfect up there for the contour. So next we're going to do the wings, kind of similar to how we did the teeth. We're just going to fill them in with some blue paint, and later we're going to add more details. So now I'm going to go in and start thickening the outline of those wings and start to add the details to the inside of the wings. For the lines on the inside of the wings, I was definitely using the wrong brush. Looking back on it, I think even a liquid liner would have created a nice little skinny line. I packed on some bright blue eyeshadow, and then I continued to add more details using the black paint. And this part was really easy. I just filled in the body of the butterfly. For the shading of the butterfly, I started with a darker blue shadow to shade those little outside areas of the wings first. And then I went in with that same blue shadow that we used on the teeth, and I started to shade random little areas of the details in the wings. Then I went ahead and lined my waterline and also got that liner down into the lash line. Then I took that same flat brush and smudged out the lower lash line, and then at that point I thought that it was maybe missing a little bit of balance, so I also started to shade certain areas of the butterfly wings with a black shadow, and I felt like it really just pulled everything together. I finished up the butterflies by just adding those final little details, which were the antennas and the little legs. Next, with that same brush, I added some shading around the nose and the eye socket areas. For my lashes, I'm applying this mascara from Jelly Pong Pong. This is the Fairy Lashes Mascara, and this is a curling mascara. To add just a few highlights, I'm taking this white liquid liner from NYX Cosmetics. This is a really cool product, and I just added this along any little areas that I wanted to highlight and add some extra dimension. And last but not least, I added a little crack in between the eye socket area and the cheekbone, and here I was using my NYC liquid liner, and you can see how tiny of a line it gives you. And I just shaded around that little crack too to give it some dimension and give it a nice clean finished look, and voila, we are all finished with our butterfly skull makeup look. So this was the whole video. I hope you guys like it. Definitely give me a thumbs up. Leave me your video suggestions down below. I know it's not Halloween, but like when you see something that you like, you just gotta do it. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.